Hello everyone, this is going to be a how-to tutorial and I'm going to be giving you guys some tips and showing you how you could do a much better job as far as green screen effects. Now, one of the most common problems people come into sometimes is where one side is darker than the other is sometimes, even if you try to use a lighting umbrella, it actually turns out to have a big, really bright spot right here. So it really feels like you're going to have to really edit for 3 different areas of brightness and different deteriorations of green. So there's a lot of different ways you can do this. Now, as you could tell, the first video looks like this, and it actually has only 2 layers of video. And the second one has 3 layers of video. Now, it really depends on the results of what you actually end up getting on it. And the first thing we're actually going to do is to go ahead and actually move it around so then we could actually cut this off down here and get it in the right position and ratio, because we want to make it smaller and we want to be able to get some of this stuff cut off at the very bottom, because we're not going to be able to green screen that stuff down there. And then do the same thing for the second layer. So as you can tell, it's looking really good, and actually I believe it's 1027 actually. And the next thing we're going to do is to not move it around, but to start with the first layer. So we're going to go ahead and just mute the second layer so then we don't have a problem, and start with the standard green screen effect. Now when it comes to the green screen, you could use regular green screen or pure green screen. One of them may work better than the other one with what you're actually editing. So this one usually works best with this. And going to go ahead and try to clean it out a little bit. Now, if this doesn't work with you, no matter how you change it, one of the best ways is to actually change the color. Now, before you actually do that, you could just move it around, but you could also pick it off by doing this and trying to find the most common area. So we're trying to really edit this half of the whole video, but there's different areas that are a little bit brighter and darker than others. So try to look for the most common version of the color. So right here, it looks like it's the most common we're going to see because those two are very similar in other areas. And now we're going to redo it. And as you can tell, it's much cleaner overall. It does deteriorate right here a little bit, starts blurring out, but we could just change that a little bit. Now we could actually move it around, but we got a really good idea of how we actually want it. Now when you find something that is working very well right here, you can see it's really clean over here, clean everywhere else but in this very specific area, and even clean right here. You want to make sure that you scroll through the video so you can actually see it's going to work throughout the entire video instead of just one section, because the brightness may change, the coloring may change throughout the video based upon your camera and everything, and it's going to really change. Like, you could just look at this alone and the edges, and as you can tell, it's changing format. As you can tell right there, it's a little bit too blurred out, so I might have to edit a little bit more. So it's good to keep on checking throughout the entire video and keep on changing this till you find something that works throughout the entire video that is clean enough but not too much to the point it starts to really blur out. So as you can tell, it's very clean right now, and we were able to get it cleaned around here and everywhere else without it deteriorating at all throughout the entire video around here. So it's really clean, and since that was only the first layer, it's time to actually start editing the second layer. It might be better just to go ahead and mute or make it to where you cannot see the first layer, because it might make things a little bit more complicated that way, because you have to conclude this, which is going to be on the first layer. Now we're going to go ahead and make it to where we cannot see that, but what we're going to be looking for is to actually move it around so then what we really can't see overall is this over here, but we don't want it to deteriorate too much because the hand is probably going to be coming over here, and we're going to want to be able to actually see that. Going to go ahead and check out throughout the video. As you can tell, it's clean right there. I'm going to go ahead and check out throughout the video, see if it even blinks at all around here somewhere. Now I think a little speck right here came up actually at some point, so I might just move it up just a little bit. And yeah, I think I saw a spot right there. So it's good to go ahead and just put them up by 1 each, as long as it doesn't get to the point where it gets blurry over here. So now what we really need to do is to actually click right here and make sure you're done moving everything around and getting everything located correctly and everything leveled out and everything. As you can tell, it's pretty even on both sides, so this must be well centered right now. And then we're going to click on mask, because once you do that, you cannot move it around or zoom in or make it bigger or smaller or anything like that once you actually click on that. So it's good to maybe make a copy of it, just, copy it and then just paste it elsewhere, so then you could get the original one in case this one ends up being a little bit off, and then you could just redo it again. So right now I'm going to click right there, and what we're going to do is to click around here and we're going to be doing this, so then this way, this is the only positive we're going to be getting, and everything else is going to be negative. Now, it might be easier just to go ahead and actually do this, and then we're going to make this negative, actually. So, going to go ahead and actually check on this just to make sure we made it positive, and yes, it is positive right now, so now we could go up here and actually click on mask. Shouldn't matter which size it's going to be, just to make sure that it's actually negative. Might move it around just a little bit just to make sure. So now we're going to scroll through and see if there's any lining issues. As you can tell, there are some lines right there. Now, one of the things you need to keep in mind to make sure you do is to actually highlight this. This may work better for you, it may be the opposite, but anti-alias and turn it off. So it should clean it up. See, there's no line right there. You could still see this right here, but you don't see the line right there anymore. So it's good to go ahead and make sure of that. Gonna go and check on this one. Gonna click right there and check on it. And it looks like it's probably this one right here. See? Starting to disappear. And then I'm gonna highlight it. You don't even have to click all of it because it applies to the entire thing. So if you wanted to only make it change on one specific side, you actually can't do that, but can go ahead and turn that off so we don't have to worry about lining issues. Now the last thing we got to do is to make sure to move this right here, so then we don't have this showing up, because the hand is not going to go all the way over here, so we don't have to worry about cutting that out. So we could easily just cut this umbrella out, which isn't really anything that we need to keep in there. And so these are the results. So as you can tell, it's very, very clean. And you could go through the video, probably zoom in just a little bit so we could get it with the hand. And as you could tell, it's fully viewable, so it's not getting cut out. It's very clean. There's a little bit of green there, but that's just a minor thing. And there's no lines, and it's not being cut out anywhere. So it's very, very clean throughout the entire video. And as you can tell, it looks very, very nice. So when you run into these types of issues where it seems just impossible to actually key every single thing out when it's, darker and brighter in different areas, and you can't just key them all out at once, this is a really, really great way to actually get past that issue. And this can sometimes be a little bit time consuming, but once you get used to it, it's actually very, very easy. So if you have a different green screen setup and you can't quite get it to work enough, this is really, really going to help you out. Now, just to give you guys a really great example of how it looks for 3 layers, since this one only needed 2 layers of video to be edited, and this one needed 3 layers, I'm going to give you guys a great idea of what they actually look like. So here's actually the first layer. So as you can tell, only applies to this side. And then the second layer, this side is right here, is negative, and the side right here is positive. And as you can tell, we cut out the umbrella. And on the first one, leave it as positive. See, it's positive right here. And this area is positive right here. And as you can tell, it's negative everywhere else. So as you can tell, it's very, very clean. It's a really great way to be able to clean everything out without losing too much, I guess you could say, visual of what you're trying to really, really key out around. So you could still see everything clearly right here. It's not blurring out or anything. And it just looks really, really nice overall. Well, anyways, that was pretty much it. So if there's anything that I skipped over or forgot to mention, then make sure to let me know in the comment section below. And if there's anything similar to this that you would love to see me make a video about, then make sure to let me know in the comment section below. Well, anyways, that's pretty much it for today, guys. And I'll see you guys in the next video.